Alright, so we're going to compare Mother's California Gold Paste Wax versus Turtle Wax Carnauba Cleaner Wax. This side will be the Mother's, and that side will be the Turtle Wax. Alright, so what I did right there is I wiped that down with 50/50 isopropyl alcohol, whatever it's called, because I was trying to get rid of some of the wax that I crossed over. So, but I'll also leave that as a buffer, so that'll be a buffer right there with no wax. That spread it on pretty easy because that pad's been primed and everything, so it's very easy to apply it. Not really a lot of wax either you have to put onto it. I think that costs $12 at Advanced Auto Parts. So in motion, forth. You don't want to go in a circle pattern because then you'll just put swirl marks in a circle on your car. And also make sure the pad's clean, make sure the wax doesn't get dirt into it. Because if you get dirt into that wax, pretty much toast. So make sure to put the cover back on, like I didn't do the first time. Just make sure that you get everything covered. Sometimes, like this, you'll miss the top. Just want to get everything covered. Good. Alright, now I'm going to let it all dry. You can tell with the wax, I'm going to use two different towels. That first one has the other one has that alcohol on it. Also used to dry the clay. The way you can tell if it's dry is when you rub your finger on it. You shouldn't smear that smeared, so that's not dry. So this is $12 and that was $5 at Walmart. And that one came with an applicator pad too. Realistically, you don't really want to spread it out this thick. I just want to make sure I get the most coverage on it, so I don't care about wasting product. Again, checking it to make sure it's good to go. Usually you gotta wait about 5 minutes. Also the wax would really start to turn white. That's good. Now it's good to buff. Buffs off really easy, buffs off smooth. Also don't rub in a circle, more of a straight line sort of motion. Should be key. Don't apply too much pressure. Because you don't want to rub it, especially outside. You do it, it's free. Stuff can fly onto it. If there's a speck of dirt on the other wax, there's dirt that got on this lower wax. Just be observant when you wax, because if you push anything into that paint, you're gonna get a scratch. And I mean, I wouldn't say you shouldn't get scratches, but you should be able to prevent a lot of scratches. These are microfiberless edgeless towels, so there's nothing that's going to catch the paint on the edge of the microfiber. Also, try not to rub anything towel onto dry paint. It's going to cause problems. So this is the Brazilian Carnauba clear wax. So they're both Carnauba, supposedly, except that one costs $12. Oh, this one's really good too. Use 2 different towels so it don't contaminate the waxes, so you don't get 2 different waxes. Metal is still the barrier. So when I do the test, we'll look towards the middle of each side panel for the performance. None of these say they last for a certain amount of time. Again, they're Carnauba waxes. If you live in a really hot environment, they're probably just going to bake off. So, I mean, if you lived in Arizona, you wouldn't do this. Probably not in Alabama either. Nowhere hot, nowhere like Florida. But, I mean, you could do it if you wanted. They do give a lot better shine most of the time versus a sealant. Preferably, you should do a paint and sealant. And then a wax on top if you wanted to. But make sure a wax like this will probably strip the paint sealant. Because this is a clear wax, so it does have polishes. So people aren't going to say it scratches, but realistically, it has polishes in it, so it's going to scratch. But very fine. It's not going to scratch, but just keep in mind it has polish. It has polish. Cleaner wax is polish. Alright, so this left side again has the Mother's California Gold Brazilian Carnauba cleaner wax, paste wax on it, washed, clayed, applied with a microfiber applicator. Alright, let's check out the beading. This beads right off. I wouldn't say they're very tight beads, but it's a pretty good bead. Try this side. Ooh, jeez. A lot slower, really, a lot slower. This sheets more than it beads. This one, Alright, let's go for this. Lots of beading. Not lots of beading, a lot of sheeting. I mean, that's what you can expect from a $20 wax, $12 wax. By looking at this, I mean, I almost rather go, that has a lot better beading. That's tighter beading. But when you're comparing that's 12 and that's $4, more 5 and that's more 13 with tax. Alright. I'd rather almost go with the turtle wax just because it's a third of the cost. At least even half the cost. But yeah, the Mother's does bead better. It's still beading, and the beads you'd have to hard to show it. Almost they look about the same, but this just looks a little more. Looks slicker, but I mean, when you this looked like it beaded a little bit better than that. But when you say that's $5 and that's 13, I think Turtle Wax wins on this one, just because it's only $5 and it comes with an applicator pad. So if we're going by price, I would go with the Turtle Wax. Alright, thanks for watching, and we'll do another comparison soon.